Alrighty, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to some more VoiceOver Day vlogs, and I want to talk about something that is inevitably going to happen to you. No matter what you do, no matter how good you are at business, no matter how you safeguard yourself, it's going to happen at some point. It's happened to literally everyone that I've ever talked to. And it happens to me less than it used to, but it still does happen. In fact, in the past 4 months, I think there's been like 2 or 3 people that have literally shortchanged me. And that's what we're talking about. Being shortchanged or being just not paid. Basically, at some point, there is going to be a client, a manager, a director, a producer, an agent that is going to do you wrong on some financial level. There was actually an agency that I am not represented by, and they wanted me to do an audition, even though I wasn't represented by them. And they messaged me, and I was like, oh, does this mean that you guys are representing me? They're like, no, we don't want to represent you, but there was a client that came to us that had a whole bunch of extras or extra characters that we didn't have enough people to fill. And they're like, so we'd like send you this to audition. If it goes well, then we will reevaluate your submission. Because I had submitted to them a couple times in the past. So I was like, okay, that's fair. So I sent an audition. And they liked it. The client liked it. They liked it. And then they came back and they're like, okay, so they wanna hire you. We'll go ahead and do it through us. Again, you're not represented by us, which is very confusing. And I've also never heard of this before. And they were like, this is how much you're going to get paid. This is the project. This is the character. These are the lines. And, we need this within a certain amount of time. And I was like, okay. So we have an agreement via email. And we have an agreement via email saying that this would be this. I know who the company is. I know the project. I've seen the project. And I delivered the goods. I delivered the voiceover to them. And then I never got paid. And I asked them what was going on. And they were like, oh, there was some kind of miscommunication. They didn't actually need to fill that role. In fact, that role wasn't, there was some kind of miscommunication. Turns out that they didn't need that role filled after I had already sent them the whole file. And I'm like, oh, interesting. But I had kept the project in mind, and when the project was eventually released, and I noticed that I was credited in the project, and it's on my IMDb. That's how I found out about it, that I was actually credited, and the credits are actually in the game as well. And so I went to the agency, and I was like, hey, found out that credited for the project. I mean, if they didn't need to fill that role, they wouldn't have even had my name on file. So clearly, you had something sent to them, you send it to them, and I didn't get paid. So I'd like to fix that. And they're like, oh, we're going to look into it. And that was about a month ago. And despite my repeated emailing them, they've never emailed back. And the reason I am bringing this up is it wasn't me doing this on my own. It wasn't me working through a platform like voices.com, Voice123. This was a large SAG company, or an agency that often does SAG projects, rather. That is one of the biggest voiceover agencies in Texas. And they straight up shortchanged me. Not shortchanged me, they straight up just didn't pay me. They straight up just lied, from what I can tell. Now, I'm not going to say their names, despite how much I want to. But if I find out more about this and more definitive and clear information comes out, and I can find out that they did in fact get paid, which I will basically be contacting the company, the game-making company, then I will absolutely be doing a video, and I will absolutely be letting you guys know to avoid them completely. So I think that's fair. I know there's some people out there that think that you shouldn't out agencies, managers, directors, producers, studios for treating you wrong because it's unprofessional. Well, I disagree. I think what would be unprofessional is knowing that there's a problem with a company or an individual, knowing that they've done someone wrong, you, and knowing that they could possibly do the same thing to someone else and then not say anything. That right there would be unprofessional. That would be disrespect towards every other person that's in the field, and everyone else who works in the industry. You're going to get shortchanged. It's going to happen. And I'm not just saying this because it happened to me just now. I've been saying this for years. And long before this even happened, I was, getting shortchanged every now and then. There was tons of people that would come to me and go, "Hey, it's not a copywritten, it's not a, we don't need copyright or we don't need rights to buy it because it's not, we're not selling it. It's not selling it. It's, we're not making any money off of it," and then find out that they're making money off of it. That happens a lot, and it's going to happen. It's unavoidable. You basically just have to roll with the punches. You have to just get used to that kind of stuff. Now, again, you should try to avoid it. But I will say this, no matter if you're working alone or with a manager or an agency, it's going to happen. Agencies and managers are humans too. And the companies that they work with might still screw you over. They might screw you over. Somebody is going to screw you over. Don't worry about it. Your goal is going to be to build up enough revenue and enough stable income that should this happen a couple times a year, it's not going to hurt you. Now, in my situation, they ended up using my voiceover in the game, which I'm trying to find footage of because I have the original files still on file so I can compare them and show, no, I did it. And I know the game. I know my names are in the credits. So all I have to do is, find footage and stuff like that and present my case kind of thing. But the good news is that I can still use this in my resume. I can still use this, obviously, in my IMDb. I can still use this in my credits. If I get footage, I can still use it in my demo. Is it a complete and total waste? No. And let's say you've done the same thing, but you don't have, it's not big enough, it's not a big enough project to maybe put on your resume. It's not quite worth it. Or, it doesn't fit on IMDb or something like that. You can still use the audio file that you sent, because hopefully you're backlogging all your audio files. You can still use it in your demo. If it was a good performance, you can still use it in your demo. Obviously, it was a good copy. It was a good script. You can keep that. You can use that in your demo. You can benefit from it in some way. It's never a complete and total wash. Is it a bummer? Absolutely. Is it something to infuriate you the day of? Absolutely. Is it the end of the world? No. It's going to happen. And if it happens, it's fine. Safeguard yourself as much as possible. Be very, very careful. But if it happens, don't worry about it. Don't stress. Totally fine. I mean, yes, it'll kind of bum you out, especially if it was going to be a good paycheck, and you end up not getting that, and now you're kind of short on cash. Yes, I can understand that situation. And yes, you have every right to be upset, and you have every right to continue pursuing it. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't. Not saying that you shouldn't. But what I am saying is it's going to happen. Once it happens, and you can't do anything about it, and everything's out of your hands, just move on and forget about it. Basically. Whatever. And then just do amazing on the next project. Hopefully they'll tip you. So anyway, that was just going to be a quick one. Kind of quick. Just because I wanted to let you guys know that that's going to happen. That's some stuff to expect. There you go. That's just it. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine. Subscribe if you're new. Bell for notifications. And leave down in the comment section below. Like to see me cover any other topics. If you have any questions, leave those down there. My email is also down below. If you have any more personal questions, which you don't want to leave in the comments, totally fine. And if you do leave a thumbs down for whatever reason, you have to say why, because otherwise it doesn't count. I don't make the rules. All right. Till next time. Peace.